All right, here's our new pan gasket. Here's our new oil pan. Came with these here. You screw them into the block, push your gasket over, it locks in place, push your pan up. Never used them before. They came with the Felpro gasket, so we're gonna give them a shot. So here's our new oil pan, and like I said, our old one, it's beyond rough. Right here's where it was leaking through. It's got a couple pinholes there. Been welded there. Well, it's welded one other spot, I think. She's had better days. So, all right, I got the engine stand, got the motor lifted up. It don't lift much, but it's all you need, because there's the hole where the bolt for the motor mount goes through, and here's the upper motor mount. So that's all it comes up, but that's all you need. So I'm gonna get set up on a tripod. We'll get these put in, push the gasket, and then we'll start getting the pan put in there. All right, what I like to do is in each corner there, I like putting just a touch of RTV, and I have these prongs in now. So if this works the way they say, we're gonna take our gasket. Now don't forget, you have a dipstick tube here. This hole here has to go over that, and then back up to the block. And we just push. Okay, that's that. Make sure that your gasket here is in them grooves right, because the oil pan will finish pushing it up. All right, that one's in. We're in up there. All right, that's in. Now, oh, sorry, very tight area under here. Oh. Sorry. We'll put you guys up there because I gotta move here. Okay, Not seeing why that front won't go over. I bet I gotta take the starter off after all. Crap. Yep, I get take starter off, so I'll be back. Okay, I didn't have to drop the starter, I just had to loosen it some, and that popped right in. So, oil pan's in, now we just gotta start putting all the bolts in. I do have the battery disconnected, so click, torqued. Oh. All right, now we just got to start with all the little bolts. The 4 in the corner we can't put in yet because them plugs are in there, them plastic plugs. So we'll put in the oil pan bolts. Those are 3/8 inch. Yeah, a little dark under here. I'm gonna go hook up a light and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now, before you just start throwing bolts in, these are the rails that go underneath the oil pan lip. This one here, you can see, has the cutout for the dipstick. So, oh, I should have jacked the truck up higher. Okay. Doesn't help being all bundled up, but it's 30 degrees out here right now and I'm just gonna be bundled up. Okay, why ain't you guys starting? Maybe I can't use that rail with this new pan. Let's see here. Oh yeah, he'll be fine. So this is what it's gonna look like. You got your pan and you got that rail. You gotta put your bolts in just like that. No clue what that wire goes to. There's so much. Well, as you can see, this thing's been cobbled to death. That's my trans line. That's gonna have to be replaced. It's all wet, so it's starting to deteriorate. And like I said, it just needs to come apart and get cleaned up. Now I don't know if you're gonna be able to see here, but before you put your bolt in, make sure that gasket's lined up and that it didn't push in anywhere. So these are all good, and then we'll just start putting bolts in. I don't know why that won't stay standing. Oh. These only torque to like 65 inch-pounds, so I don't even use a torque wrench. I just snug them up, and once I get them all in, I'll go around and re-snug them all again. But I don't worry about using a torque wrench on them. I guess people could say I should, but I don't. Alright, I'm not going to show putting them all in. I'm going to start doing this side, keep it even. This is your remote filter mount. The older 350s, the filter just went right here. Now they put this filter relocation and it just goes up in there. 2 bolts hold it. There's new seals in the kit. Once the oil pan's on, then we'll get this put back up in there with new seals and that. Then before we set the motor down, we'll get this cover on, get these braces in, get the oil cooler, and then we'll set the motor down, get the motor mounts put back in it. But let me get a couple bolts on that other side. It's not... This is definitely a DIY, because you can rent cherry pickers from like Do It Best and stores like that. So I'm gonna have to say this is still a DIY, because you can do this in your driveway. As you can see, I'm not in a shop. I'm out here laying in the gravel. So, you know, it's definitely still a DIY. Hopefully not in 25-degree weather, or 35. Now, if you had a 2-piece rear main, like the older 283, 327, this would be a good time to change it, because the 2-piece rear main, you drop your rear bearing, main bearing cap. The bottom will come out with the cap, and then there's the top piece. You just push up in there with something and it'll feed around and take it out. Then you push the new one in. Well, what I always do when I do that is, let's say this is the plane of where the cap meets the block. You got two half circles. I'll put them just a little bit off center like that, and then this one up here so it's down. And I've never had one leak doing that, and that's just how I do them. You know, everyone has their own thing. That's just how I do them. On these one-piece rear mains, you don't have a choice. You got to drop the transmission, take the flex plate or flywheel off depending on what trans you have. It's kind of unavoidable, but I'm not dropping the transmission just to do that. So can't think what I'll say. We'll start it back up once I get more of the bolts in. Okay, we got some in on this side, we got some in. Don't do one whole side, otherwise you're gonna have issues. Go side to side and do. And I got enough in. I'm gonna try taking these plugs out and start getting the corner ones in. But then just kind of look, as you put these in, I think I said, but kind of look through that hole and make sure you can see the blue gasket, that you're all lined up. There's a better shot. I don't know if you can see it yet, but kind of make sure. And like that one up there is lined up, you know, just kind of, we know these four corner ones will be lined up, but you know, just to make sure so you don't have to drop it again. We're gonna finish getting these done, and I might call it a night. It's getting dark on me, but I want to get these bolts in, so at least the oil pan will be in. We can get some oil in it. I just got to button everything else up. So the exhaust, I don't know if I'll worry about doing a video, but the cooler here, there's just a gasket. I was gonna try showing you a stupid mistake. There's just a gasket that goes on this ledge. We got the gaskets in the kit, so we're gonna get that. We'll put them on there. And like I said, there's just two bolts that hold that in place. We are gonna put a new oil filter on it since we're putting new oil. The oil in here wasn't that old, but you know, just so it's done and over with. Also, you can see up here, you can see how the gasket's getting compressed out through there, and we'll check it up front also. But that's what you want to see. So I'm gonna finish getting these up, and then that way I can get this motor dropped back down so I don't have to leave cherry picker out all night. So we'll talk to you in a while. Okay, we got all the bolts in except for them two front ones. Don't forget to rehang your that little bracket to hang your trans lines in. Now go through and double check, make sure you're happy with how tight all your bolts are, because once you put this cover in that goes here, you cannot get at them two back bolts anymore. That cover will cover them. So that's why I can't reach the two front ones. I'm not too worried about. I'll do that when I set the motor down. But now I'm gonna go through and just re-snug all these bolts. Then that way I can get the cover put on, get the oil cooler and these two, well, this one I had to take off, but there's a hole right here on the motor mount at the bar, and that bar comes back and hooks to that cover here. This is the other one, but we gotta get the oil cooler on first. So I'm gonna go snug these up, and then we'll get this cover put on. All right, on this oil filter remote mount, you gotta take a pick. Just take a pick, dig in there, and there's a rubber seal right here. Throw that away. And you're gonna replace it, which came in the kit. You got the gasket that goes right on top. You got a new O-ring. Okay. So we'll take our new O-ring, reach in for some of that oil, and there's a groove in there. Just go and press it into that groove. Sorry, rust in my eye. All right, now I'm going to take our two bolts. Now they're both the same length. Then you gotta take your gasket. Sorry, trying to get this in there. More important for me to see right at the exact moment. All right, that's what we're doing. We're just putting that in. I got one tight while snug. And that's all there is to it. That's back in. All right, now I'm gonna go get the bolts for the cover and the cover itself, and we'll get that put back on. So I'll be right back. Okay, we got the cover back in. 6 bolts holding it all tight. We cannot put these rods on until we lower the motor back down because they attach to the upper motor mount. So as you see, they will not line up any way, shape, or form. So we got our trans lines back in the hold bracket. This is done. This is done. Oil cooler or remote oil mount, that's done. So we just need to get the motor set back down. So I'll see you on the top side. This is what we're working at. Little dark out here. So we're gonna get a pry bar. Oh. I don't know how good this is gonna film. And there we go. So, as long as I can get, yeah. She fell right into place. Now I can just put the motor mount bolts in, and then I'll remove this exhaust manifold because I'm going to swap it with my other set. And but I'm going to do that, finish it up tomorrow. It's just getting too cold, too dark out here. My hands are going numb. So I'm going to call it a night, but at least the motor's set back down. So that's the main thing. And for that, you can just use a pry bar. Don't know if you can see. Just use one of them pry bars. And I just went right through here and fell right into place. So all right, that's where we're gonna leave it, and hopefully I'll get out here tomorrow and finish getting this buttoned up. I gotta run to the store. I did forget to get exhaust manifold gaskets, so I gotta get those, and I need to get some oil and an oil filter, and that's it. We'll see you tomorrow.